Friday afternoon, 2036. Sarah reads a single email. The replacement happened on Tuesday, she learns now. 3 days late, one silent decision, one wall behind her. The quantum leap. At the quantum leap, we do not explain technology. We drop you into the future it is building. Sarah's story is only the opening frame. The real story is the structure behind her career. A wall built in 1870 protected every profession you know. Licenses, boards, exams, the moat around expertise itself. In 2026, something pushed against it that nobody anticipated. Not a person, not a company, a category of software. The first crack appeared where nobody was watching. What the wall was built to stop, it cannot stop anymore. To see why, rewind with me to 1870. Before licensing, anyone could practice law or medicine. Quality varied wildly. Trust collapsed in entire towns. The state bar associations were the response. By 1900, every profession had its own guardian body. The wall served a purpose. It worked for 150 years. It guaranteed a minimum floor of competence. It also guaranteed supply restrictions and premium fees. According to the ABA's 2024 economic report, licensed fees stayed flat, even as every other service commoditized around them. That asymmetry is the first signal something is about to break. Now fast forward to 2024, the first stress tests begin. Not from hackers, not from disruptors, from inside the guilds. The professions themselves begin adopting AI cautiously. First as a tool, then as a coworker, then as a signatory. The three-stage path took less than 24 months. At the quantum leap, we call this the permission cascade. The first official crack came from the American Bar Association. A 2025 rule change added 3 words. They changed everything. Competence now includes technology, not eventually, immediately. Every lawyer read the headline and missed the footnote. The footnote restructured the profession itself. Because AI competency required, non-use becomes malpractice. The rule did not kill the profession, it forced it to run. Dr. Michaels at Stanford Law wrote, and I quote, "The ethics rules did not bend, they expanded." Expansion is how institutions absorb revolutions. But absorption has a limit, and that limit is capacity. By late 2025, the first autonomous legal filings appeared. Motions drafted by AI, cited by AI, filed without a lawyer present. A state Supreme Court reviewed the first one in March 2026. The ruling was narrow, the implication was vast. The court said the filing meets the standard. The standard, it turned out, was procedural, not human. And once procedure is the bar, software clears it faster. This is the first lesson of the licensing wall. It never guarded the work, it guarded the gate. And gates, unlike work, can be reclassified. That is the future the science points toward. But here is what stands between us and that world. The medical wall was supposed to be the hardest to crack. Licensing in medicine carries a weight nothing else matches. Because mistakes here have bodies attached. And yet, the first AI-signed diagnosis still happened. January 2026, A radiologist co-signed an AI reading first. 6 months later, the AI was permitted to sign alone. The FDA had quietly reclassified the software the year before. The AMA issued principles but not prohibitions. No law changed dramatically. The wall became permeable. This is how institutions fall, by reclassification, not breach. Radiologists were the front line. Pathologists were next. Then dermatologists, then ophthalmologists, then cardiologists. Each specialty crossed the threshold with its own justification. Each believed it would be the last one to cross. None of them were, none of them will be. Here is the science behind what made this possible. Foundation models trained on millions of medical images, passed board exams. The Stanford 2025 study put the threshold at 91% concordance. At that number, defending human-only diagnosis became harder. Not impossible, not wrong, just harder. Institutions respond to what is hard, not what is right. That is the second lesson of the licensing wall. Walls do not hold by principle, they hold by friction. Remove the friction, and the wall is just a line on a map. The CFA Institute took a different path entirely. They rewrote the Code of Ethics in 2025 to absorb AI. Absorption, not resistance. It may be the smarter move. But absorption comes with a price the profession has not calculated. In one version of 2040, AI professional tools are open. In the other version, 3 companies own the professions. Both futures are plausible. Only one leaves room for competition. The fork depends on a regulatory vote. Nobody is watching. Interoperability. Rules determine which future we walk into. The decision is being made quietly this year, in committee. The quantum leap motif returns. The future arrives in convergences. Energy policy, AI policy, healthcare policy, all one policy now. The licensing wall cannot be treated as its own silo anymore. The antitrust question is the most urgent one on the table. If 3 foundation models power 80% of legal work, that is not a licensing question. That is an infrastructure question. Infrastructure determines power. Power determines outcomes. Sarah did not know any of this on Tuesday. By Friday, she knew the smallest piece of it. Her firm had already signed the enterprise AI contract. That signature reshaped her role without asking her permission. This is what happens when infrastructure decisions outrun careers. It happened to pharmacists first. Nobody remembers the year. Pharmacists still exist. Pharmacists still matter. But the judgment work moved into the dispensing software. They kept the license. They lost the leverage. License without leverage is the quietest kind of loss. Stenographers saw a sharper version of the same story. Voice transcription software did the work for 1% of the cost. Stenographers did not retrain fast enough. Most left entirely. Pharmacists, stenographers, travel agents each lost differently. Travel agents did not die. Their moat became a commodity overnight. Stenographers replaced by a single piece of voice software. Pharmacists kept the license but lost most of the judgment. Each profession learned the same lesson, too late to matter. The consultants of 2036 walked the same corridor those 3 walked. History does not repeat, but the walls rhyme. Here is the reality anchor, what the science cannot yet do. AI still fails at novel contexts without training data. It still fails at multi-party ethical judgment under pressure. It still fails at reading a room full of human stakes. Those gaps are where licensed professionals still hold ground. But the gaps are shrinking. The timelines are not 60 years. Timelines in emerging technology are notoriously unreliable. What matters is not the date, it is the trajectory. And the trajectory here is clear. Now Sarah steps outside her office building. The city is the same. The ground under her has shifted. She opens her tablet. The industry news is everywhere. 3 competitors filed autonomous deliverables this quarter. Her firm's board has a decision on the agenda for Monday. She does not know which way the vote will go. What she knows, the wall is not coming back. The WWYYHD moment. What would you have done on Tuesday? Would you have signed the AI contract yourself? Would you have renegotiated the role on Thursday? Would you have even noticed something shifted? Most did not, most will not. That is the real expiration. The people riding the curve are not fighting it, they shape it. What they know is not what Sarah knew on Tuesday. Expertise is not expiring, it is being quietly redefined. Domain mastery plus AI fluency plus trust capital, new triangle. The survivors have one thing in common, they saw the fork early. In Part 3, we walk the reinvention protocol they used. The quantum leap future verdict on the licensing wall. It does not fall, it transforms into something lighter. Licenses become living agreements between people and AI systems. The professions persist, the monopoly over judgment does not. This is the reversal that sets up everything still to come. Everything we said about expertise expiring, Part 3 inverts it. The people reinventing themselves are not fighting the curve. They are riding it and changing what expert means. Part 3, the reinvention protocol. The real story starts.